So I am so pumped for this. Everyone that is going to be talking tonight, you guys, they are like killing it in their personal business. Some of y'all may be new leaders on here. My name is Chloe. I am the Superstar Director over all groups with Justin. And then y'all are going to hear from all the SSDs that make up some of our group tonight. Tonight, we're really going to be talking about, what are you doing? All right, stay focused. Tonight, we're going to be talking about blooming, growing, evolving in your business. We're going to get right into it. That way we can honor y'all's time. And hopefully you guys can have some great takeaways. As y'all know, this is for leads and above, but we will make sure it's on all of our channels so you guys can have, your certifieds can have access to this content and they can really learn what you guys are learning. And it's all about rippling it down, which I'm sure you guys are going to hear tonight. You can't just be a great leader by doing, you have to teach your team how to do the same thing. And so we're going to start, where's my Katie baby at? There she is. We're going to start with Katie. So let me go ahead and make you big.
Too late.
There you go.
Hey, you guys. So it always makes me nervous if I have to go first. But the first thing I want to say is we are officially in harvest season. Spring and summer are harvest season, meaning that anything that you do right now for the next until August, September is going to pay off in fall and winter. Everything you do in spring and summer, you're not going to see immediate results right away. You're going to see them in fall and winter. That's why you see more promotions in fall and winter. That's why you see higher PRV in fall and winter, more sponsoring happening in fall and winter. Because everything that you do right now in this month and next month after, you are going to see the results in fall and winter. So you are in harvest season. So the first thing I want you to ask is, we talk about systems all the time, but something's happening. Sorry, y'all, something's happening. Everything you do in your business, if you have a system, I hate to call it a system. How do you work your business? How you work your business right now, you're going to see the results bloom in fall and winter time. Whatever that looks like for you, how you get your PRV, how you sponsor, how you work with your team, you're going to see those results bloom. You're going to watch your team promote if you're constantly working with them month after month. You're going to watch the number of recruits that you sponsor every single month if you're having those sponsoring conversations month after month. So everything you do right now in this season, you're going to watch come to pass in fall and winter. The first thing, before you can lead anybody else, you have to lead yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to make you work your business, get up and work your business. Nobody can do it for you. Before you can teach, lead, and show your teams the way, you have to show your own way. Y'all hear this all the time, but what goes on in the dark comes out in the light, right? What goes on in the dark comes out in the light. How you work your business, you can show all the pretty things on all the leadership pages and do all the posts and do all the things in your stories and your reels and whatever. That doesn't matter if you're really not doing the income producing things that nobody sees. What goes on in the dark comes out in the light. Y'all will see, if you follow me on social media, there's days where I don't share anything, but those are my heaviest working days. You guys don't see those things, but my business is constantly growing. So what you do in the dark comes out in the light. So if you're saying you're booking parties, if you're telling your teams that you're booking parties, if you tell your teams you have a follow-up system, if you tell your team you're having sponsoring conversations, but then the end of the month comes and you don't have PRV and you haven't sponsored, your teams see that. And that's where trust comes into play. If you're not practicing what you preach, your words mean nothing to your team. You can't teach your team if you're not teaching yourself. You can't lead your team if you're not leading yourself. You have to lead yourself before you can lead anybody else. One of the things I hear all the time from some of my leaders is they feel like they have to be perfect leaders in order to be a leader. My team knows all the live videos and trainings I've done over the last few months. There's a screaming baby in the background and it's a freaking circus. You get what you get. It's real life. You have to come as you are. You're never going to step into a position where you're this perfect leader. If you're working your business and you're showing your teams how you work your business, that's the best form of leadership that you can give them. Literally the best form of leadership that you can give your team is leading by example, showing them how to persevere through hard times or difficult times. Everybody goes through hard times in their life. Everybody goes through things, ups and downs. Nobody's perfect. But you can show them how you can persevere through that and continue to work your business. Help your team grow into their goals, not your own. This is my biggest pet peeve out of everything. If you're personally aiming for a promotion and that's the only time you talk to your team. All right, y'all, who's got parties booked? All right, y'all, how many orders you got to put in for this LTO? All right, y'all, that's my biggest pet peeve, because the promotion's going to come naturally if you're showing them how to do income producing activities. You have to meet them at their goals. If they're flat out telling you that this is their goal, but you're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing because you know there's something in it for you, they're going to know that and they're going to feel that. And you're going to lose all trust with your team. And once it's gone, you can't get it back. You cannot get it back. People remember how you make them feel. Your teams remember how you make them feel. So work your business first. Your business always has to come first, and then simply show them how you do it. You can't build your garden alone. One of the things that I focused on with my group this year, one of my visions for my group was, I don't want to be the only one leading. I want this to be a collaborative thing where all my leaders are leading together so nobody knows who the leader is. That was my vision for my group this year. And sometimes that takes some pulling out of people and challenging their weaknesses and their strengths, right? Pulling that out of them, pulling the weeds out of their weaknesses so that they can shine. So my vision is leading together, having a collaborative group that leads together so nobody knows who the leader is. You'll do that by building relationships off a team page. Stop saying, if you're somebody that's saying, my team page ain't acting, nobody's coming, that doesn't matter. What matters is the text, the voice message, the FaceTime. That's what matters. I don't focus on my team page anymore. I focus on text message, FaceTime, voice text. That's what matters. That's where you're going to make the difference. And if you can empower your team in that way, that you notice them, that you're pulling all that greatness out of them, or even challenging them to see something in them that they don't see in themselves, they're going to grow and flourish. Okay, one last thing and then I'm done. You have to know the who in your business, okay? The what is your income producing activities, your booking parties, your follow-ups, your sponsoring, your working with your team. That is the what. But you have to know the who in your business, and you have to know the who every single month. I shared this on my team page yesterday. But every single month, when I do center of the month mail outs or mail outs in general, I double print a copy of my shipping labels. So I double, whoever I mail stuff to, I print my stamps.com, history, whatever. I fold this up. This is for the whole month of March. I fold this up. I stick it in my pocketbook. This is my who for my business. This is, all these people are my potential hosts, my potential recruits. And then when I make the banner for my team page and run reports, that's the who I want to work with for the month. You have to know the who every single month. The what will never change. The actions, the what is the actions that matter in your business. That's the what. You have to have the who. If you don't have the who, your business isn't going to grow. Your business isn't going to be consistent. Your business isn't going to flourish. It's going to stand at a standstill if you don't have the who. The how is time, and you can make time. Trust me, honey. This is how I've had to work for 2 months. I've had to print a sheet of paper and put it in my pocketbook to work, and it works. It works. This is the who. You have to have the who. Your team, when you're running reports, shouting them out for promotions, texting them, that's who you want to work with. That's the who for your team. The who, that's what you need. This is a people business. Without people, you don't have a business. Customers, team, potential recruits, you don't have a business without the who. So love people. Love people. Treat them well. Encourage them. Empower them. Your business will grow. That's it. That's all I got.
Boom. Okay. So great. She's fire. And all right. Justin was like, damn. I know. Every time I'm like, Katie Laster, everybody. She acts like she's not somebody, but she's a literal unicorn. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it. So to go right off of Katie, it actually worked out really well because I am going to talk really quickly with you guys. And I know this seems really stupid, but I love, am I showing just this? I'm not, am I? I'm showing my whole desktop to y'all, huh? Let's not do that. All right,
just click on the screen.
Can I click on that? Okay.
All
right, so can y'all just see a picture? Yeah, okay. So I really wanted to talk with you guys really quickly because I'm visual on understanding, and it's so crazy because I didn't read any of the girls' notes tonight that Katie was talking about everything happening on the inside, okay? This is very important as a leader because if you look at, okay, literally growing a plant, it takes a while. If you're trying to grow vegetables or anything like that, even a daggone flower, it takes a while to see the bloom. And when you see the bloom or when the vegetable comes up, it's not even alive that long. So a lot of times the success on the outside can look short-lived, or it can look like, it looks sometimes like you're doing all this work and you don't see anything coming out of it, okay? But what I can tell you guys is, going off of Katie, I want to elaborate on the importance of good things grow. So when you're looking at like a plant growing, okay, 1 through 3, there is literally still nothing going on, just a couple leaves, okay? So when you're looking at yourself as a leader, you need to look at, how are you working on your leadership on the inside? How are you trying to be the best version of yourself, the leader that you look at, that you want to be? What are you doing to become that leader? And I say that because a lot of times as leaders, we want things just to happen, or we want things just to automatically bloom. And I'm telling you guys, I said this to Justin in the car today, failure is your biggest teacher. Okay. So when you fail as a leader, I want to tell you right now, you're going to have missed calls. You're going to have people not care about their business. You're going to have leaders say they're going to do things and they don't do them. I want to encourage you right now to keep that on a very light string so you can cut that quickly. Do not let those feelings of that one team member or those few calls when you try to do coaching calls prevent you from growing into the leader that you were called to be. So as you can see, 1 through 5, there's literally nothing, okay? You don't get the tomato until step 6. So like Katie was saying, in the spring, I focus very heavily on building everybody on this list behind me. I focus very heavily on the who, extremely. So when I'm looking at who I'm going to be working with, the spring, this is the time when you want to develop, what direction am I, can you turn that off? There's something making noise. Yeah. What direction do I want my teams to go in? What do I want to teach them? Okay. Looking at the 3 legs of success. Okay. You guys, if you don't know what the 3 legs of success are, they are pinned on all of our leadership pages. Keeping it simple. What are you doing when no one is watching? Every single person speaking tonight, we literally have a group text, and we barely text some days because we are working our business. We are doing the things that it takes to be successful. We're not worried about putting pretty makeup on. We're not worried about doing any fluff. We're trying to make it to where you guys can do it better and quicker than us. It doesn't matter what social media looks like. Social media is a highlight reel. What matters is exactly what Katie was saying. What are you doing as a leader to build up other leaders under you that don't believe in themselves yet, like you didn't believe in yourself before you promoted? What are you doing to be that leader that you are called to be? How are you showing up? How are you sharing? Guys, the reason that we started How I'm Working last year when we created that page is so y'all could share how you're working. The reason that we do Anchored In now, and all these other leaders have their leadership pages, but our big group page, the reason we also have a requirement is because if you're not posting, what are they learning from me that they don't already know? It's about you showing up. Your leaders are looking at you. And if they want to get trained by me or some other upline, you need to look at how you're leading them. Because truthfully, they shouldn't be coming to upline unless they want something additional. They should be going to you, okay? How are you showing up? How did you do that? How are you evolving in your personal business, okay? Even with us, we're constantly evolving, constantly looking at how is that system going to work now? I have to work my business very differently than a lot of people, just like a lot of the other SSDs talking tonight, because we have different variables that come into play. So we have to make sure our personal business is taken care of. Make sure that your personal business, I'm going to go over in a minute, the 2.5 by 2 by 2 by 6, $2,500 a month, 2 new teamies a month, 2 clubbers a month for 6 months. How are you catapulting and working your business like a machine? In order to succeed in this business, you have to hustle and grind. I don't know who took that out of the equation. Luck and hope is not a game plan. A plan is a game plan. So if you are not making a plan for your business to succeed, you are not going to succeed. But if you make a plan right now and you decide, I'm going to get 2,500 in sales, I'm going to recruit 2 a month, I'm going to get 2 clubbers a month, I'm going to do this for 6 months and watch what happens. Are you focusing on the people or are you focusing on the promotion? I'm not even going to get too into that because Katie talked about that, but nothing kills me more than when I see people posting their 6 packs away or 89 6-packs away to earn a trip or to promote. Listen, it's not cute. I know a lot of people on our team do it. It's not the way, dude. It's not the way. You need to be you need to have a relationship with your people. When you have a relationship with them, they'll listen to the hard things. My team and the people I coach, they will listen when I tell them the hard things because they know I want to help them succeed and I want them to do it better than me. What are you doing that are leadership IPAs? There are a lot of things that leaders are doing, like getting on and doing Zooms that when you have no content to train on, doing all these things. What are you doing that are leadership IPAs? We don't talk about these and I don't know why, but we're going to talk about them for a minute. All right, identifying leaders. If we are not identifying who we are working with, stop texting everybody on your team. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. Stop. Stop texting somebody at 0. Stop. It's not ugly. This is business. If you want to run it like a hobby, you can do that. But when you text every single person and give every single person the same amount of attention, you're missing the Serena Nortons, you're missing the Katie Lasters, you're missing the Amber Ryans. You have to focus in and see who is selling on my team and who is recruiting, who is showing up on the team page, and build a relationship. Because I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to build a relationship with the 20 people on your team at the same time, I want to know if you can do that with 500, better yet, 5,000. It's impossible. So start habits now that matter. Text, phone, and action plans. Guys, we've been grilling this with y'all. Text action plans, I just started doing a few months ago. I know for a fact that I know Katie does them. I know Amber does them. So there are people doing these, they work. Get on the phone or start helping these people under you reach those goals. Annual mentor and annual sales tracking. Guys, it is up for y'all now. If you are a lead consultant, you can see annual sales. If you're in the queue, you can see mentor. We are actively working on getting that changed, like literally right now, because I want that to show up for leads. Resources and clear direction and communication with your team. When they go to your page, what does it look like? And if you're a star consultant, you need a team page tomorrow. Stop with the chats. Stop doing I don't know where the Facebook chats happen. I know y'all are going to hate me for this. Please make a team page because then you're going to be an SSC and then you're a director and you don't got no culture. So please listen to me when I say, if you are working the 2.5 by 2 by 2 by 6, you are going to promote very quickly. Go ahead and get that culture started. And at the top of your page, put your resources. Both of my pages are consecutive. You know exactly what you're going to get. You know exactly how to target and tag your teams. That's what you want. You want them to have the resources quickly. And last but not least, recognition is an IPA. I said it. If you recognize the right way, and you help build these people up underneath you, send them the hard text, send them the good text, send them the recognition, it will pay off. So Justin, do you want to talk really quick about the danger zone?
Yeah, so Chloe mentioned a IPA of identifying leaders, and I talk about this all the time from a reporting standpoint, but that's the easiest way that you can identify leaders is through saved reports, whether that's people that are over $1,000 a month, whether that's people over 500 a month, however you have those reports saved, that's how you can start identifying people who may need a little bit of work in 1 of the 3 legs. Another thing that I've identified is there's something called the danger zone that all leaders I feel like need to be aware and self-aware of if you're within this category. So we've created now a new report that Chloe uses to help identify, and it's based off of her frontline. Now, if your frontline, like I said, based on your title, if you only have like 5 frontline or 6 frontline or 7, you may need to drill further down in your group on this report. And this is going to be a separate training that's going to be done on how to set this report up.
Yeah, we don't have time, so we're going to do a training and put it on Anchored In for you guys.
But basically, those who know how to work the reports, this is what we've started doing. We've started pulling on our front line, anybody who's a lead consultant, to a superstar consultant. I'm calling that the danger zone. Anybody who's a lead to a superstar consultant, because at that point is where you're going to be able to identify and start seeing who is going to catapult to being a director and a superstar director based off of their many habits they have within those titles.
And the report is so dope. It's so good.
And
it's
so
a really good report.
Basically but the good thing is Chloe has the new formula 2.5 by 2 by 2 by 6. Other things that need to be involved in that report. How many leaders have you promoted to different titles during that time? So this report helps you see that.
So
how
can
many
I interrupt
lead?
you real quick?
Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed, especially in directors, you're not having lead, start, and superstar frontline under you. If you're a director, hear me out when I say you should have at least one frontline SSC, one frontline SC, and 4 leads. That is the magic number that we have found. And yeah, I mean,
I would.
It would blow your mind if you.
Yeah, and so I just think that having that mindset as a leader of and like I say this every call. Sometimes the word leader gets outplayed, like it's a song that's on repeat, because everybody can be a leader, but what type of leader do you want to be? Do you want to be the leader that just speaks good quotes to people and make inspirational, and then they come to you just to get motivated? Or
Quotes don't put dollars in the bank.
And that's the thing. You'll turn into a drain real quick if all you're going to do is just give wisdom nuggets. And I'm sorry, but drains don't get filled, drains pour, and eventually it runs out. So I want every single one of you guys to be a leader that also gets filled, but also creates other leaders that know that they actually have to work at this business. And there's a lot of people within the Cincy, and I think it's because of social media that thinks just because you can post quotes and say empowering things that it makes you successful, when in reality, what makes you successful, and I'll say this all the time, is sales. Anybody can try to argue with me at this business.
Why did we promote last month? You promoted from sales, TWV.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I'll always say this to anybody who has an argument. Yeah, your paycheck grows when you grow leaders, but the way you grow leaders is to grow your sales, to recruit, to find more leaders, to get more interactions with customers. There's no argument to that. This is a sales business. And so what are sales cultures? Every sales culture you're a part of is very fast paced, and it can get real messy. So how do you thrive in a fast paced environment? You got to make sure you're organized in your business. You got to make sure you have systems in place. You got to make sure every customer feels like they're your only customer. You got to train your team to do that. So that's what being a leader in this business is. Yeah, it's about being there for everybody it's about being there for your team whenever you're needed, but in a sense of needed as how am I going to help you with your business? And obviously there's friendships that you can grow from this too. But I just think that leader, the danger zone report is something that's important, because it's that extra level of identifying somebody that needs to work with. An example of that would be a lead consultant who's almost there to get in star consultant, but they're having difficulties recruiting. And for some reason, as a leader, that's the most difficult thing to train on. But in reality, it should be very simple. You should be able to look at their sales and how many interactions they're having with new customers. And another question you need to ask, how many Cincy consultants are you following on social media? Because I guarantee you, your feed's probably filled up with too many Cincy consultants.
Stop following Cincy consultants. I love y'all, but stop. You need to follow your customers.
And if you're looking for good training content, social media is, like I said, a highlight reel to that content. If you want to get good training content, it's on the pages or it's on a YouTube channel. I'm sorry, that's it. That's where the good content is. A post is something that can be stolen. It's not even original. I know we have some of our superstar directors that literally get every post they put up stolen. And it's kind of a funny argument that, everybody has with it. So it's just one of those things where if you're looking to grow and you're looking to learn something, don't even listen to Cincy consultants. Find somebody else. This is a sales business. Start looking up sales trainings on YouTube. I'm actually about to do a master of sales training that's going to be geared for just sales.
And master of recruiting. We're doing both.
But I'm doing a master of sales, and it's going to be geared toward all industries, because I feel like that's something that you don't really get set up as soon as you become a consultant. Nobody talks about sales. They talk about the relationship building. So as a leader, I just want you to realize that the first thing you're going to start to identify in this danger zone report is how many people are selling. Recruiting is going to be low if sales are low. And that's a direct correlation to everything. So I think once you start getting that into your consultant's mind too, from developing leaders, that this is a sales business and a sales culture.
And one of our favorite non-Cincy podcasts we listen to is Craig Groeschel. If you have not listened to Craig Groeschel, I love Trent Shelton, but all he does is talk about the same thing over and over. And he talks about not being sad. Y'all need to listen to people that are massive leaders. He is a huge leader.
And look, and I think it gets that way. Chloe and I will say a lot of the same stuff over and over again, but the reason why we say the same stuff over and over again is because it works.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what we do as far as running our system's never going to change. It's sales first, and then we take care of our customers and turn them into people who love Cincy that want to sell the business.
Make them not want to leave. Your customers and your team, baby. Make them not want to leave. So, all right, Amber Ryan. There you go, baby.
Okay. First of all, two things. One, I'm having Braxton Hicks, so y'all just bear with me if you see my face go like, I don't even know. Two, whenever Justin does that reports on that, pulling the identifying people, please pay attention to that. He helped me with that the other weekend when they were here. It's amazing. So I'm going to keep it very short and sweet. I want to start with saying that because we probably have a lot of people who are still working full-time jobs. We all worked full-time jobs while we built our Cincy business. So what I want to tell you guys, it is possible to build as a leader with a full-time job. I did not stop teaching until August of last year. So just know that it is possible if you work on the proper things that you should be working on, not working with everybody, working with the ones who want it, working with the ones who you've identified, okay, as a leader. So first thing, leadership. When leadership comes to my mind, I think the one who never leaves the one behind. It's a Christian song. I heard it the other day. But it's really true. You're not leaving ones behind. You're still there for everybody, but make sure that you're not running your dream, right? This is a part of growing as a leader, where you're not completely running your well dry. You're still watering all the plants, right? As a leader, you're giving the information to everybody. You're doing these trainings. You're showing up for everybody, but the ones that you're intentionally, like Katie said and Chloe said, intentionally texting, voice texting, FaceTiming with, action plan calls, you're really digging deep with those people. But make sure that as a leader, you're still having all of the information available for everybody. That's why a lot of us, actually all of us on here, we have YouTube channels. We have the information that's available for everybody. I'm in Facebook jail right now. I can't go live, but when we go live, we upload it to YouTube. We do that on purpose so everyone has access to it. Next thing I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, look in the mirror. What I want you to do as a leader, I want you to look in the mirror and say to yourself, am I doing the things that I want my people that I'm leading doing? Are you doing the 3 legs of success? If you're not, that's where you need to start. And like Chloe and Justin said, it all starts with partying. You have to nail down that really strong leg, because you can't teach people. I'm not going to talk about PRV, but you can't teach people to party. You can't teach people to build it big if you're not having the sales, you're not having the relationships. So on that too, are you leading by example? Do you have the leadership qualities that you want to portray as a leader? I challenge you. I do it all the time. And with teaching, I had to look at it a lot. You had to reflect. You had to look and say, okay, well, did that lesson work? Okay, well, why didn't it work? Is my leadership being effective? Are the trainings that I'm doing effective? Am I, if you're looking at your sales report and you're like, okay, well, nobody's having high PRV. What do you need to be focusing on? What do you need to train them on? Okay, nobody's recruiting. Okay, well, what sponsoring conversations can you have with them? What trainings can you lead them to? Something that's really big with leadership, and it takes a lot of practice. You have to be willing to be wrong and learn from it. You don't know everything as a leader. None of us on this call have magic in our veins. You can see all of us right now. It's about as real as it gets with every single one of us. We are nothing special. The only thing we have done is not given up whenever we have failed. And we have failed over and over and over and over and over again. And there's a Michael Jordan quote that I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot, and I've missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. because when you don't give up, when, you know, that party flops, that recruit does zero PRV, even though you did everything in your power to do, the person that you have the action plan call with, you check on them the next month and they haven't done anything, it's okay. But you have to be willing to push past that, especially as a leader, to not take it personally, because it has nothing to do with you. It is a part of growth. It is a part of growing as a whole human, really, but especially with leadership with Scentsy. You can bring everybody to water, but you can't make them drink. I say that all the time. My team, my group knows that. Does your team trust you because you're open and honest with them? And are you transparent with your journey? Are you a real human being with them? That's something that's really big with leadership with me. Something that I've really focused on the past few months is being very open and honest with how I work, how I lead. I share my to-do list, not every single day, but I share different resources that I do with them. Someone just said I can't hear anything. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Are you sharing things? Are you sharing what's working? If you have, you know, a Facebook party outline that's working, my team, I've shared that with them because it works. Are you doing, you know, I don't know, whatever you're doing, are you sharing that with your people to make sure that it's successful? Are you pulling resources with them? Are you showing them how to kind of navigate different things? Next, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that, but it's really important as a leader to always have a growth mindset. Now, we are human. We are not always going to be, you know, on top of our game all the time. But with a growth mindset, failure is seen as an opportunity to grow. Okay. You're not stuck at this fork in the road, and you're not like digging into concrete and stuck. Now, with a fixed mindset, you're stuck. You're saying, I failed. I suck as a human being. I'm done. I give up. Okay. Growth mindset. Yes, you can have a little pity party for one, get past it, vent to who you need to vent to, and move forward. And you know what? We all have days. I had a day yesterday. I literally had nothing nice to say. If you follow me on social media, I was barely on social media because I had nothing nice to say to anybody. That's just how it is. We're human, but you grow past it, right? Growth mindset. Be adaptable, build the plane while you're flying. You're not going to know it all. Like I said, you don't have glitter in your veins as a leader. It doesn't matter what your title is. You don't have it all figured out. Figure it out as you're going. If you don't know the answer, to try to help somebody out, figure it out or lead them to where they can figure it out. You know, part of not building leeches. Something that's really important too is networking with other leaders. Okay. Don't surround yourself, and Chloe says this all the time, do not surround yourself with people who are not going the same direction you want to go in. If you're surrounding yourself with 4 to 5 people who are not going where you want to go in Scentsy, you're going to stay there. And I was there. Okay. I was there for a while in first 2 to 3 years of my business because I was not pushing myself. And a lot of people say, but if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to constantly be growing, evolving. In order to be a better leader, you have to be learning. Okay. Listening to podcasts. How are you feeding yourself to help others? Power and community, accountability partners, the leadership pages that we're in, what relationships you have, brain boxing with others. We are better together. Me and Whitney the other day trying to figure out to help our teams. Did a FaceTime, and then I got in Facebook jail about this incentive. So we're better together. Katie and her both did YouTube. They shared it on my team page. Who are you working with to help you be better as a leader? Okay. So another thing too with growth mindset, give yourself grace. I already said this, you're human. If there's a negative thought that comes into your head, do not let it manifest. Don't let it stay there because it's going to eat you alive. And 2 more things. Stop the noise of other people. You really need to focus on the intentional things in this business, not only as a leader, but as your own business, right? Don't worry. I did a post the other day. I think it was the other day. I don't know. My brain doesn't work. Susie Q, I don't even know what I said, is not able to water your grass and grow your business. It is your job. Who cares what she's doing over there, taking selfies and looking pretty, okay? That's not your grass. That's not your yard. That's not your house to worry about. Worry about yourself. Keep working on the things that are intentional, income producing activities. And my last tidbit for leadership, please, for the love of everything holy, if you do not already, set boundaries in your business and set business hours. Your team, love them to death. Your group, love them to death. You can be like Jesus's mother. They're going to run you dry and they're going to suck you dry of everything. They're not going to intentionally do that. Some of them, more than likely. But if you are answering them at all hours of the day, you're doing yourself a big disservice. When your front line gets huge, when your team gets huge, when your group gets huge, you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have inflow of Facebook messages, Instagram messages, text messages, voice text, calls. Just don't do it. Let them know and they'll be fine. Katie Laster always says there's no sense the emergency. When it's your business hours the next day, you can contact them then. And that is it.
Justin just wanted you to know that he said that, Amber.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Justin. Justin Cox said it.
It really doesn't matter at this point. All right. All right.
Okay, y'all. All right, so I broke it down since we're talking about growth and bloom and evolve. Okay, I'm a homeschool mom. That's just kind of how my brain works, because I feel like when you have a better understanding of words and you're like, oh, that's what that means, and you can relate it to another word, things start to click in your brain of what you should be doing, okay? So I'm going to break it down, each one. So we're going to start with growth, okay? And I did the synonyms: expansion, development, progress, advance, improvement, okay? Build out. This is huge when we're talking about growth, okay? It's not just like this little, oh, look, I just grew like this little tiny plant. No, we're like focused on growing like big freaking oak trees, okay? Strong, that's what we're doing, all right? So you have to be willing to grow in unexpected places, all right? That's the first thing. You are not always gonna have picture perfect circumstances, okay? I spent probably about 80% of my last month working from a hospital while my husband had 1 million appointments, okay? It's not always gonna be perfect, but you have to be willing to grow in unexpected places, okay? You need to be willing to listen to a training in unexpected places. If you've not listened to a training in a shower, there's a problem. I'm just gonna be real with you. Find a way, okay? Stop being like, I don't have the time. Yes, you do. Figure it out. You can do it, okay? You can do it. You just have to figure it out, all right? Another thing, time is not on your side. Y'all stop waiting. Stop it. I'm going to be director in 2025. No, we're not doing that. Stop it. Time is not on your side. You don't even know if you're going to be, like, not to be morbid, you don't even know if you're going to be alive in 2025. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Jesus is coming back early. Okay. We don't know. Time is not on your side. Get to work now. Start being willing to grow now. Okay. Like, come on, we don't know what tomorrow holds. All right, another thing, like we said before, grow through what you go through, okay? You gotta stop having the same mindset now, like that you did when you joined. What are you doing? You should not be looking at your business the same way at all, okay? If you are now a superstar consultant, you should not be looking at your business like you were when you were a lead consultant. You are in a completely different area, okay? So I just feel like that's so important. Be willing to change that mindset, all right? Okay, you are not the same person as you were yesterday. So not even just in your business, but in your life, okay? What'd you learn yesterday about your life? You learned something if you really take a look at it. Apply it to your business, apply in all areas, okay? It's not just Scentsy, better yourself as a person, all right? Okay, so another thing, what crappy situation in your business can you learn from? Take the bad. Learn, move on, okay? Stop holding on to the bad and being like, oh man, the whole year spent. No, we're gonna take whatever lesson we learned from that crappy situation and we're gonna move it into something positive. Change it up, All right. Because otherwise you're literally going to be stuck in that negative mindset, just like Amber said. And that's not okay. That's not going to better your leadership or you or your life. Okay. What great things can you learn from? Make sure you're sharing those. Share the difficult too. I talked to someone tonight and I was like, listen, if you're struggling and you're like, I don't know what to share because I don't feel like I'm leading. Okay. So how are we going to change that? Go share that. Okay. Because you're not the only one that feels that way. All right. We all need help in those areas. All right. Got to bless others. All right, another thing, know that growth is possible. You guys, you have to have faith in the little things in your business. The little tools will get you everywhere, okay? The 3 legs of success, if you look at them, like they really don't look that difficult, right? But what is it? It's little things you're doing consistently over and over again that lead to big things, okay? It is gonna change everything. Small steps equal big leaps, all right? Okay, another thing, stop thinking small. Lord, stop thinking small, you guys. Stop thinking that you can't have that dream check or that bomb team size that you're looking for, that you're not going to have those leaders. You've got to grow in all those ways, okay? You've got synonyms for grow, like build out, success, expansion. You can have the business you want, put in the work, okay? Put in the work. All these things these people are talking about, put it in the work. All right, we're moving on to Bloom, okay? All right. Oh, I don't have some synonyms for Bloom, do I? Nope, I don't. Okay, that's all right. Blooming. Once you have all these things, okay, and we're growing, you really can't even help but bloom. You can't help it. Once you're changing your mindset and you're doing the little things consistently, your business is going to bloom whether you even want it to or not. It just is because you're putting in the work, okay? And if you're putting in the work, you want it to bloom, all right? Oh, I do have synonyms. I lied. Sorry, y'all. It's just second on my list. Okay, to bloom, to blossom, to open, to bud, to sprout, to mature, okay? So as you are blooming, because you're putting in the work, the little steps, you need to make sure your attitude is reflecting the growth that you've had, okay? My 9-year-old checked me. I'm going to be real honest. Before this call, I started freaking out and I'm like, I don't even know why I'm speaking. Why am I doing this? Why did they even ask? I don't know. I'm just here. And he was like, Mom, look at what you've done. Mom. And I was like, oh, I'm raising you right. Oh, you are right. Yes. Okay. Your attitude needs to reflect it. My attitude needed to reflect it this afternoon. Okay. That is so crucial. Believe in what you've already accomplished and know that you're going to accomplish more. We need to be walking in that. Okay. So here is the thing. The attitude that you have as you lead and you share Scentsy with others, okay, is going to determine your level of success tomorrow. It is that simple. I tell my kids this all the time, okay? Your attitude is going to make the good, the bad, the ugly in your life either a negative or a positive. What are you choosing to do with that? It's your choice. You get that choice. So what do you think blooming takes? Not negativity, so check your 2, okay? Check your 2. Just like tell my 12-year-old, check your freaking 2. All right. But you also need to realize that as you're blooming, it comes with bigger responsibility, okay? You need to wrap your mind around that. Blooming, you have to have more responsibility as you're blooming, okay? You're spreading out, all right? You have to work through the hard. You have to work through the tired. You have to work through the scared, okay? And when you don't feel like anything is going right, you still got to be choosing to bloom, all right, y'all? Okay, another thing, sometimes God will let us go through the hard and the suck so that we can see what we're made of, okay? And if you're being honest with your team, like Amber just said, it's so your team can see what's possible. That ugly is not pretty. Let's just be real, okay? And I have been there. All my stuff's on about my business and blooming, okay? But do you know how many messages I've had from people saying, oh my gosh, like basically, if you can do it, I can do it. And that's what you want people to see. That's what you want people to know. If I can do it, you can do it. If my dreams are obtainable, so are yours. We just have to put in the work and give them the tools, okay? So stop selling yourself short and stop refusing to walk through the doors that you prayed for God to open for you, okay? Can't be standing in a doorway when you ask for it to be open. You got to walk, okay? And lastly, we've got evolve. So our synonyms for this are to develop and progress, to expand and enlarge and spread out. So each stage of your business, like I said, you're going to be evolving a little bit more, okay? In your systems, in your leadership, in your mindset, whatever it is, pushing your PRV, okay? You're hitting that 2.5K PRV like Chloe's talking about easy, you need to up it. If that's easy for you, up it. Why not? All right? It's just going to help your check. It's just going to expand your network. It's just going to bless you big. So up it. Stop staying stagnant. All right? It is a choice to evolve. The world wants us, especially right now, y'all, they want us to focus on the negative. They want us to focus on the bad, on the ugly, okay? All around us, everything is negative. Lord, you think you see something cute and all of a sudden there's 15 posts about it being negative. You're like, dang, I thought that was cute. All right, well, let me check myself. Like, that's what the world wants from us right now, okay? So you cannot let that pour into your business. You cannot let that pour into your leaders and your leadership. You've got to guard your heart and your mind as you're evolving, all right? You already have everything you need to succeed. Literally, these leaders have paved the way, okay? To the point where Chloe will say, upload this leadership tool. And I'm like, it's yours. I'm using yours. Like, I don't know what you want me to do because you've already laid it out. I'm just using what you gave me. And that's why I am where I am, okay? You have what you need, all right? So are you using the tools that you have to evolve? Are you using them or are you just looking at them, okay? Use the tools that you have, all right? 2 key things to evolving. Never, ever, ever forget where you started, okay? And never, ever forget why you're doing it. Even if your why starts to evolve, don't ever forget why you're doing this, okay? Helping others to evolve is extremely important, okay? I've talked to our leaders about being a staircase leader versus elevator leader. Elevator leader just waits for the ride to the top, okay? A staircase leader walks and they're leading their people, right? They're following the person who's above them on the step and they're looking behind them to help the other people move up that step, all right? Do not keep your gold to yourself. That is so nasty. Don't do that. Other people deserve your gold, okay? Just like all these leaders here are giving you their gold. Don't be stingy. You have something to share, I promise, share it, okay? All right, so last thing I have for you guys, okay? So remember, you are there to walk with your people. You're not there to drag them to the top, all right? You do not have a wagon, okay, with people in the back of it. We are holding hands and we are walking to the top. So again, please stop thinking that it's mean to work with the people who are working. It's not mean. That was so hard for me to comprehend, okay? You will spin yourself out, all right? You are not there to save every single person on your team. Even if you want to, even if you have a heart of gold, like I get it. Trust me, I get it. Had to learn the hard way a few times, all right? You're not there, but like you can't save yourself. Remember, like we're all a hot mess. You can't even save yourself. So stop trying to save other people, all right? But it is your responsibility to share what you have with other people, okay? So they have the same opportunity that you have, okay? All right, there you go.
Jeez Louise, y'all are killing it. And I love how fast everyone's talking because they're like, I have 500 things to say. Okay, let me pull Whit up. Here you go, Whitney.
Hey guys, hello. So exactly what she just said. How do we follow that? There's just so much good stuff, guys. If you aren't taking notes right now, even if you're going to watch it later, I literally have pages of notes. If you're not taking notes, that's a problem, guys. Okay. First step, always learning. So we're really focusing on the growing, the blooming, and the evolving tonight. And Katie said it. She started this call by saying it, harvesting. This is a harvesting business, okay? Every single year, you're going to have to harvest. You're going to have to always say it. We do the same thing in our business every single month. It's just making it easier for us, perfecting it, doing what works for us best, okay? So take that in your business and in your personal life. If you're not growing as a person while you're growing your business, you need to take a step back, okay? I have changed so much as a person from this business in so many ways. And I won't go into that, but just make sure that as you're growing your business, you're having some self-reflection on yourself too. So before you grow, you have to figure out who you are. Who are you? What kind of leader do you want to be? What kind of business do you want? And what is it going to take to get there? What are the actions that you have to put in? Again, that's been laid out. PRV, sponsoring, coaching. Boom. That's what you have to do. How much of that? How many conversations? How many parties? All of those little actions are going to lead up to the success that your main goal is, okay? So growth and being comfortable do not coexist. This is something I harp on in my team. If you are comfortable, you're not growing, period, okay? There are very few times that I have felt like I even just a little bit, maybe for like 20 minutes, had everything figured out in my business until something else threw me a curveball. Okay. And I love it. I love the adrenaline of this business. I love that it's always changing, but you have to realize that if you're comfortable, you're holding yourself back, period. Okay. So get uncomfortable, and you're going to have to get uncomfortable to grow. This is going to look different for everybody, and it's going to depend on who you are for what that thing or things are. For example, for me, it was asking people to party. When I was a star consultant for over a year, yes, write that down. I was a star consultant for over a year because I was comfortable. Okay. I didn't like to ask people to party because I was worried about what Joe Schmo from high school was going to think of me. And then my husband asked me one night, he was like, who is it that like, who are you worried about what they're going to think of you? And I started naming names, and he didn't even know half the people. Boom. They don't matter. Okay. Whoever's holding you back from doing these income producing things, to doing the uncomfortable things, to asking someone to party, to asking someone about the business, whatever it is, those little things as a leader, you're going to have to get over, and then you're going to be able to tell your team about it one day. Same as this. It's getting hot in here, getting red. Okay. Sponsoring, finding a way that worked for me to have a shit ton of join conversations. Let's just be honest. Okay. Asking people I never thought would join me, who are now in this business right now, killing it. Getting uncomfortable by even just asking them. More than half of my front line told me no, or left me on red, like straight up ignored me. More than half of my 60 plus frontline. Okay. So what if I stopped there? What if I stopped at a no? What if I stopped? No, I'm not frozen. I'm letting that sink in. What if I stopped? That has to be some kind of realization with you that even when it's hard, you have to keep going. A lot of people told me no. Sylvia left me on red. I remember Sylvia was the first person that I ever voice messaged about joining, and she left me on red. And she was a director in less than a year because I didn't give up on her. Okay. So just know that it's not easy for any of us. I don't even know who said it. Amber, there's no glitter. There's no special. It's hard work. It's not giving up. It's work ethic. Okay. That's what it is. So if you have those things, you can be successful too. All right. So blooming, be selective. While you're blooming, be selective in where you're blooming in your business. Okay. Who are you pouring your time in? We talk about this a lot, and I didn't get this for the longest time, but I get it now. Okay. You have to be selective in what you're putting your energy and your time into. We talk about boundaries. We talk about drains. Those are very important. And the other part of that that's really important is that you're aware of your time and of those drains. Okay. Because one day when you step back, you're going to realize someone's draining you and has been draining you for a long time. And it's a self-realization that you have to give yourself. Okay. And once you realize it, that blooming is huge. When you get over those hard things, when you get uncomfortable, that's when the blooming is going to boom. Okay. A lot happens before a flower blooms or anyone blooms. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of background to what happens. There's a lot of things under the dirt that no one sees that goes on before that flower even sprouts. Okay. So for all the analogies that we're having, think about it. Think about that and compare that to your business. It's a revolving thing. I already said that. You will bloom in your business if you don't give up multiple times, but know too that you have to give yourself grace in this business if you're not blooming quite yet. The time that you're putting in, the hard work that you're putting in, if you continue to put it in, it will bloom. And again, when you're at that point of where you want to give up, where you're not yet sprouted, when you keep going, that's when the bloom is going to happen. I promise you. Mark my words. Grow, go back to grow real quick. I wrote this on the side. Grow in your actions. What does that mean? That doesn't mean do more. It means do better. And we've talked about this a lot too. We have to be intentional, just like with our time and who we spend our time with, but how we're working our business. When you're about to start something, think, is this income producing? Is this going to bring me income? Is this going to help my team? Okay. If the answer is no, you don't need to do it, or you need to put it on the bottom of the list. Okay. Evolving as a person. Just like I said, you're going to change as you change through this business. It's going to happen. Okay. Evolving in your new title. We had tons of promotions last month. We had tons of people step back up into there and where they're supposed to be. But you got to keep stepping up. The title doesn't mean anything if you can't keep it. I put that in the chat. It's great to become a certain title, but I don't really give a shit about your title, to be completely honest. I love work ethic. I love people who show up. I love people who do the things they're going to say they're going to do. Those are the people I'm working with. I don't care if you're a certified and essential consultant. Okay. If you are given tasks from either your SSD, your SD, your director, anybody, and they are successful in their business and you're not doing them, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? So regardless of your title, you're worthy to do hard things and to be successful as anyone else on this call. All right. And that really belief in yourself, that was one of the first themes of my world tour that I went to. And I kept thinking that is such like a weird, because they always said belief instead of believe. But it is really having belief in yourself that you can do whatever you want to. Okay. You have to not concern yourself with what others are doing. You have to realize that what you consider success is what grants you peace, not what others believe is success. Okay. That's huge. I'm not a person to let people settle, but just know that everything that we do as directors, SDs and SSDs is out of the goodness of our heart, right? So we are going to push you a little bit. If your goal is director and you say it's director, we're going to hold you to that word, right? And we're going to have those conversations with you to be like, hey, this is what you said. Now, how are we going to get there? What's the plan? What's that look like? That's being a leader. Oh, I don't want to step on toes, so I'm not going to really push her to the next level. I'm just going to sit back and let her do her thing. Okay, well, you sit right there with her and move out of the way so I can work with her, because we are taking things to the next step in this business. Now, if your goal is not to hit director and you're content as a star, awesome. I am so proud of you. Let's get paid at title. Show me how you're doing it. And that's it, right? So we have to be aware with our time as leaders, just as aware as your leaders are aware with the time with you. So that's the other thing we have to keep in mind as leaders is a lot of time people say, oh, well, this is just a hobby. And then my answer is, and I understand that, but you have to understand that this is my business. So it goes both ways. Okay. Let me look at my notes real quick. I already talked about always learning. And in the grace part of all of this, just remember that people are praying for what you have. Right this minute, people are praying and begging and wanting and needing what you have. So I know that when I have a bad month and I'm like, this PRV is not where I want it to be. I didn't sponsor what I wanted to. Our team's not where I want it to be. My paycheck's not going to be where it is. Me and Anya have this conversation here and there. And I'm like, gosh, I remember the days that I never even would have dreamt of what I have now. And so just know that where you are is someone else's goal. So make sure you're having grace on yourself and you're enjoying and living in the moment as you know in this journey. Okay. And the last thing I will leave y'all with is no matter how pretty of a flower you are, there will always be someone that does not like you. They don't like your flower. They don't like the color of your flower. They don't like your type of flower. They don't like the way you say things. They don't like the way you do things. They don't like the way you lead. They don't like the way you breathe. But you have to stay true to you. And that's why it's so important to know at the very beginning, who are you? What kind of leader are you? What do you want your business to look like? What do you want your life to look like? And that's what matters. I saw a quote the other day and it said something along the lines of, think about what's most important in your life and work around that. For me, it's my family. It's my boys' future. It's my boys' children's future. That's why I do it. It's not for the 12 p.m. text or the people who don't like the way I lead or they don't like the way I say something. That's not why I'm here. My focus is on my boys' future. And this is why I do what I do. So that's all I got, guys. Love ya.
Woo! So good. All of it was so good. All right. We're going to end it with our little unicorn, Ray Ray, who I call my ray of sunshine because she is just love it. So Ray Ray, take us home with the energy, baby.
All right. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Okay. Because y'all have literally thrown out all the nuggets. I literally have so many pages of notes that I'm going to go back through when I'm done with this call to engrave it in my brain. Okay. I think Whitney just hit on this, but I just want you guys to know there's 120 people up here. Just because you hit a certain title or you get to a certain area in your business doesn't mean that you stop growing, you stop taking your own notes on calls that we literally have the notes, but we're taking notes. We're still taking notes as SSDs, okay? So never stop growing, never stop training. The minute that you stop training yourself and you stop wanting to learn, that should be a red flag for you, okay? And if you're at a point in your business where you don't want to grow anymore, which clearly all of you want to grow because you're up here, right? All 120 of you guys are here for a reason. And we are so grateful for all of you for being here, okay? We know that this is taking time away from your family. So please know that you being up here is huge for all of us that were up here, okay? So thank you. All right, I'm going to bring it home with talking about part of growing as a leader is learning how to stop comparing your leadership to someone else's leadership, okay? We all lead completely different, okay? You might have similar things that you do like your sponsor or another leader that you follow, okay? But at the end of the day, we all lead a little bit different. None of us have the same exact things that we are doing or the same exact way that we're going to talk to people or the same exact goals or challenges that we are going to give our teamies, right? So please stop comparing your leadership to someone else's, okay? And I know we are talking about harvesting and growing and it being spring. I just want to remind you guys, the strawberry is not focused on the pumpkin, okay? And I chose those two different fruits because, or is pumpkin a fruit? I don't even know. But those two different plants, because strawberries they bloom in a completely different season than a pumpkin, okay? So I want you guys to look at that. If you see someone around you and they are thriving in their business and you're looking at yourself thinking that you're doing something wrong, you're not. If you're focused on the IPAs and the actions and the systems that have been given to you, you are clearly you're trying and you're focusing on those things and you're actually implementing them into your own business, your time will come. I promise you, your time will come, okay? And I'm telling you that because I know all of us have been there where we're looking at someone, whether they're in our team, in our group, or maybe just in Scentsy in general, and you're looking at them and they have high sales and they're getting 11 teamies and they have all of these director promotions or frontline promotions, and you're over here really trying your hardest to train your people up, but it's just not your time. Keep going, okay? When you persevere through those hard times is when you will see growth. But if you decide to just throw in the towel because you're not seeing the growth that you want right now, you're never going to see the growth, okay? So keep persevering, keep showing up, keep focusing on the IPAs, and I promise you your time will come, okay? All right, leaders, you're never going to be perfect as a leader, okay? I don't care if you get to SSD. I don't care if you get to the top of the company. I don't care if you make a $10,000 paycheck or your goal paycheck. You are never going to be perfect, okay? None of us up here that spoke today are perfect. We are all learning. We are all evolving. And we all, I think Amber is the one that said it, we all self-assess, okay? We all take time. Let's say something's not going right in our business. We all stop and take a look at what we've been doing in our business and figure out, okay, why have we not gotten a teamie? Or maybe we've recruited, but they haven't hit certified, or they're not hitting these milestones that Cincy has laid out, right? What's the problem? We're self-assessing, okay? We're figuring out, okay, what are we doing? Why isn't it working? It's not working. We're going to stop doing that. We're going to try another route, okay? So we're not perfect. You're not perfect as a leader. You never will be, but we are constantly trying to be a better leader, and we're trying new things to be that better leader, not only for yourself, but for your team and your group, okay? The people who are joining under you, they deserve that, okay? They deserve that you're actually trying and you're training and you're constantly reassessing, okay? They deserve that. If you're not willing to reassess or learn even more than what you know or train yourself up, then honestly, you need to get out of leadership. You need to go and contact Cincy, okay? Email them and take a non-leadership role, okay? All right. Okay, this is a hard one, but it's part of leadership and it's part of growing as a leader, okay? And someone said it earlier, I think maybe Chloe said it very briefly. We cannot just have the easy conversations and the recognition, okay? That's the easy part of leadership. You know what the hard part of leadership is? Having the hard conversations. So for example, if you have someone in your downline who is constantly recruiting, but you see that they're not training, and you know for a fact that they're not training, they're not taking the time to help their teamies to get to their goals, you need to have that conversation with that person and say, hey, first of all, I want to know, it doesn't have to be a mean conversation, right? But think about it this way. Okay, I was a nurse for 5 years, okay? If I didn't show up to work and I didn't let anybody know what was going on in my life, if I didn't show up to work, do you think that my boss would just not say anything to me? And I'm not saying you're anyone's boss. I'm just saying that it is your responsibility as a leader to address the situation, okay? Address the situation and go from there, okay? Hard conversations are a must in order to grow in any relationship, okay? Your relationship with your spouse or your kids, you guys have hard conversations, correct? It's not all butterflies and rainbows. You have a hard conversation every now and then. It's the same thing in leadership. And I get that it's scary, but you're going to have to push past the fear and do it, because I promise you, it's going to be so much, what's the word I'm trying to look for? I don't know. It's going to be sunnier on the other side, okay, when you have that hard conversation, okay? So the last thing I'm going to say, the only thing that a leader is responsible for is showing the way. You are not responsible for others' actions or lack thereof, okay? So someone mentioned it earlier. If you're doing coaching calls with people, okay, and then you check up on them a month later and they haven't done anything that you talked about, that's not your problem. It's their problem. Why? Because they have to do the work. We cannot run other people's businesses. We cannot do it. We are running our own business along with trying to stay afloat in everyday life and everyday problems with our families and shoot, what's going on with the world, okay? So you are not responsible for someone else's business, but you are responsible for showing them the way, okay? So that is all I have to say. And someone said it earlier and it really stuck with me. Aim big or stay small, okay?
Y'all, we just did that in an hour.
No, I won't.
Okay, is there any last minute things any of y'all want to say before we leave? No?
Thank you guys for being on. It really does mean the world to us when you guys show up.